Next I'm going to start working on the hinges. And just like I did with the lock, I'm not going to be installing the hinges right now. I just want to cut the mortise that's going to be locking the hinges in place. I didn't position the first hinge at any set distance. I just rested it on the back of the box where I thought it looked good, and then I set a pair of calipers up so that I could transfer that measurement, whatever it was, to the other side of the box. And now I'm using a knife to scribe the exact outline of that hinge on the box. The top edge of the hinge needs to be mortised in so that it's just flush with the top edge of the box. If you don't do that, there's going to be a real unsightly gap at the top of the box. Here I'm checking the fit with a scrap piece of wood that's the same thickness as the lid. The part of the hinge that fits inside the box just gets surface mounted. Here I have the hinges just resting in the mortises in the back of the box, and the lid is in position, so I can now mark the location of the strap portion of the hinge on the lid. I need to mortise in the hinges so that the back edge of the hinge can sit flush with the back edge of the lid. Now we're finally ready to start attaching some hardware. I'm using this clamp to hold the hinge to the top face of the lid and the batten to the bottom face of the lid. The batten needs to be positioned directly underneath the hinge. Ideally it should be parallel to the outside edge, but if your hinge veers off a degree or two one way or another, the batten needs to follow that. So measure as much as you need to and make sure that the center line of the batten is following the center line of the hinge. When you're clenching the nails, always use a small sledge to back up the head of the nail to make sure that the nail doesn't get driven back down while you're bending over the end. And always make sure that you're clenching the nail across the grain of the wood.